Hello friends, welcome. I'm Commissar Marek, and today we are going to be playing some more There Are Billions. Last time we conquered the first mission, which was the Hidden Valley, and we accumulated some research points as well as empire points from that mission. Before I'm gonna tell you what we are gonna do with these, we still have another choice to make. As you can see, we now have access to several different options where to go. I personally think that the Hunter's Meadow, which is the mission to the north, is the hardest of the initial ones that are available. And so we should probably go there only when we accumulate a little bit more research. We also see the last bunker mission on the left, and this is the first scavenge mission for the hero. I'm gonna be doing this on 800% difficulty as well, since no one else really had any ideas. I'm gonna just show you how it looks like, and then we can decide if this is what you want going forward. Let me know if you don't, if you want me to play it on lower scale so that we can burn through it faster. You can let me know about that in the comments. I'm gonna of course speed it up for you, but I'm gonna explain some of the hero mechanic and scavenge points in this video, and then we are gonna also do one more mission, which is today's mission is gonna be Crossroads afterwards. First thing to note about the hero missions, or the scavenge missions, or as they are called no build missions in other games, is that you always get the same rewards regardless of what difficulty you play it on, and you can only replay each mission once. You don't get the rewards if you come back here again. You also want to make absolutely sure you don't miss out on any point rewards for research or empire points for this mission, as they are dependent on how many things and objects can you scavenge through the mission. But there is only a set amount, but they always vary. It's not that it is always going to be the same flashing book or a barrel or a trinket on the ground. Some of them are persistent, but some of them are random. So you always want to make sure you don't miss out on anything before leaving the mission. Preferably you would do it as you go through the mission without having to then do a pixel hunt at the end looking for that last little object. It's a good idea to just continuously scavenge as you go through each room, and to take good care to take whatever flashes. There's a mechanic where if you wait a little bit, the item that is interactable with or takeable will flash every couple of seconds, and so it gets highlighted, which helps to discover before you get familiar with what kind of items are usually scavenge points and which are not. There are also consumables. Medkits will heal you and all your troops, which there is a possibility to find extra troops in specific missions to help you along the way. They don't have any effect if they survive, so you can throw their lives away, but it's always preferable to keep them, as the mission is usually designed with you having that extra firepower in mind. Keep in mind that units don't normally regenerate here in these hero missions as they normally do on any other map where you actually build things. So use the medkits to heal up. Usually the best management for them is to wait until you are a little bit low on HP on various units, not just the hero, to use them, as using a medkit will heal the hero as well as every other unit on the map at the same time. The other consumable item is a grenade, but on this first mission we don't get to get any of these grenades yet, but they are very handy later on to clear heavily infested rooms. Something else to note is that some of these rooms will have explosive barrels on the ground which you can shoot to explode. This explosion is quite huge, so be mindful not to be anywhere near that, as it will instantly kill any units or heroes that might be nearby. You can also pick them up with the hero and reposition these barrels to strategic positions to then later detonate them when you, for example, open a door. You'll see me use one later. I'm gonna speed through this section a little bit just until we get to the next point of interest, which is this hole, which is continuously gonna spawn Shambler type infected into the map, and these holes can be found in multiple no build missions. Usually there's at least some in each, And this is just to make you familiar with the concept of there always being some enemies, and you cannot really clear all of these out. It will continuously spawn new ones. And so I like to keep these soldiers nearby to safeguard it against any potential threats that spawn in, as we need to hang in this room for a while. And after we do, we need to go to the final room where we will search for this yellow box. This yellow box indicates that this is the objective of this mission. After you get it, you can leave, but as I said before, if you plan this difficulty, you better make sure to collect every single scrap of research you can find, because every single point is going to be super important, especially early on, because without some of the crucial technology, we just are going to be soft locked without being able to advance to the next missions, because we will require some technology in order to beat some of these missions. And so this is an easy way to get some of it. Keep in mind, if you are after achievements, you will actually suffer a permanent victory point penalty for each death you suffer in any mission for a restart of your own, or if you die, you will suffer permanent reduction in victory points you get for beating this mission, which means that you might get locked out of some achievement on Steam. But this really doesn't have any gameplay implications. Like, you can restart hundreds of times potentially without really anything bad happening to you. The only thing is you need to actually beat the mission to progress, right? So even if you get stuck, you might want to lower the difficulty on that specific mission to progress if you are having some trouble with it. But for me personally, I just like to plan ahead and get through it. I will explain more in detail how to plan for research when we get to that part, after this no build segment is done. Now, after the no build mission is done, we've acquired some research points, and we also acquired one upgrade point for Callus, and we can improve one of his abilities. You can accumulate like total of 10 points to upgrade, so you are not going to be able to pick every single one each time. I like to go ahead and plan towards something in the future, which means that I'm a big fan of the splash ability, as well as generally increasing his raw damage as well as health and armor. The attack speed is very dependent on your micro skill rather than just letting him auto attack. It's not as good if you'll do that. It's better if you target micro. Since you don't have an economy, it's even easier than normal, and so you should always do that. I'm gonna pick up the damage upgrade for Callus in this case for that reason, because it leads to the very, very powerful one later. Plus 70% damage is going to be really good to deal with, especially infected later on. Now, onwards to specifying research. So, as I told you before, we'll go to the Crossroads, which is also going to be part of this video, and we'll keep the Hunter's Meadow for later when we need to actually be able to have better research. As you can see, its higher population requirement indicates that it is indeed a harder mission. You can see the rewards we get for the Crossroads, and we now will go ahead and spend our research points, which we haven't done so far, so we have 370 points. I'm gonna pick up the assault rifle upgrade, unlocking the soldier, which you already seen in the no build segment. It's a new unit, it's a very good unit. I'm gonna show you how powerful it can be. This upgrade for logistics upgrades your maximum storage capacity for your resources and some of your income, but you really want this. But keep in mind that there are just some very crucial things we need to unlock later on. If we want to keep beating these missions, we need some advanced technology, and so instead of going for the greedy approach and unlocking the logistics and potentially the gold transportation upgrade, I'm just gonna pick up the wood workshop technology, because that leads to farming, and we need farming if we are to beat Hunter's Meadow in a timely manner. Now, welcome to the command center. This is where I'll outline what is the plan going into this mission. I've played it many times, so I have a plan going forward into it, and this is a map of the mission all revealed. We will not know this information when we play the map, but this is for me to visualize and tell you what are we gonna be doing as a plan. So you can see that we start the command center to the south west, and there's a railway exit, which is going to be a safe border. we know that there is stone, which is going to be heavily contested. This map is actually not indicative of how many zombies there are going to be, because we are going to be playing on 800%, so instead of 1 there's going to be 8 basically. So everywhere you see them there's going to be a lot. So we need to concentrate all of our first initial rangers to go ahead and attack the small group the group guarding the stone. After we secure the stone for early soldier center, we will then go ahead and expand towards the north, because there is the iron deposit which we will require to recruit soldiers, and we also want to anchor our city against the west part of the map, where there is a potential invasion point for roaming hordes, the random attacks, which there are no hordes here, only the surprise attacks, but they also contain runners, so it's in our best interest to secure our borders, anchor our city towards these areas as much as possible. After we are done with that, we recruit some soldiers. I'm gonna go back to you and tell you what is gonna be happening next. But at this point, just note that there is also a village of doom in the north and northeast, and you can see that these infested structures will spawn enemies when you attack them. There are quite a few around. There's a rail track coming through, so the train will from time to time mulch some of the infected, but not enough to really make a huge difference. What is a special feature about these infested dwellings is that you get resources by smashing them, so you then can collect them with your soldiers. And I'm gonna go into details on why soldiers are a good unit in a little bit. I'm going to speed up this initial part a little bit, just so that we don't have to be here for a very long time, but I'm gonna give you a list of things as a build order that I'm doing. On the left side of the screen, I'm gonna display with text what I'm building when, and yeah, so as I said before, after we clear out all the enemies near the stone, we push north, but we also make sure we constantly expand our economy, and when we can, we will build a soldier center. Thing to note here is we don't want to do what we did on the first map, and I really don't want to build any more than 10 rangers in total. I use them for guarding my walls against shamblers and potentially contesting some of the surprise attacks with walls and rangers, but our main force is gonna be soldiers, and that's why we need the iron I mentioned earlier, and once we secure that, we can then start recruiting some soldiers. They do require 1 unit of food and they have more upkeep, so they are more expensive to hire and upkeep as well, but they are much better. A squad of 20 soldiers will be orders of magnitude better than a squad of 20 rangers. There's just no comparison to it really. Even if you were to hire more rangers, because you can if you had more soldier centers in that time frame, as to have, like, for example, 40 rangers as opposed to 20 soldiers, you would still be better off with soldiers, as they are insanely powerful and you can improve them through the tech tree so much that eventually they'll become real monsters where they can one-shot the runner infected, and even without them being veterans, I think, and that's super good. Now, when we build up a sufficient squad of around 4 soldiers, we'll start to clear outlying areas on the right side of our base to ensure that we don't get overwhelmed at our barricades near the mine, and hopefully there are going to be sufficiently low numbers of enemies so that we can do this easily, and we'll continuously rally more soldiers to our squad, building it up. We also keep building up veterans experience, and veteran soldiers are really powerful. I'm gonna let them speak for themselves, as after we clear this outlying areas we will push north and northwest to secure extra food supplies. After we secure our northern expansion, we will use the resources we acquired to boost our population and income towards the 400 population requirement for this map, as well as prepare an energy grid expansion to further exploit this area for our own means. In the meantime, our soldiers gonna go on a rampage towards the Doom Village. Using the resources we acquired from the Doom Village, we will now quickly expand to accommodate the last population required in order to complete this mission. And with that, this mission, the Crossroads, is gonna be wrapped up. I think you can now see the power of the soldier and what it's capable of even without the global upgrades. It is now at this point a very significant upgrade to our armor capabilities, even though they are much more expensive. I'm going to be playing the no build mission next in the next episode, and then we'll handle the hunter's clearing. So I hope you're looking forward to that, and I thank you for watching and see you around. Bye.